Hello, gorgeous Sagittarius family, and welcome to March 2021. You all know how much I love you, and I love this energy. And I feel like I'm a Sag rising, and it's one of the aspects I'm really grateful for in this life, really grateful to tap into this energy. And I haven't let myself play in Sag energy for a little while. I've been feeling kind of like a serious, heavy side. I think I've been leaning more into my Virgo uptight moon that wants everything perfect. But when I sat down to work with Sagittarius energy today, I really loved the message that came through before I even get into the cards or the aspects or anything. Because immediately it was this feeling of like, get creative and curious and play. So often when I'm working with Sag energy or we're talking about, balancing and harmony in life and finding a healthy balance between the way we naturally do things and helping ourselves find some better balance. It's often we talk about Jupiterian energy being like picking up too many projects and getting completely like overwhelmed with having too many projects and then never finishing any of them. But for some reason, the message coming through for March was just have fun and play and see what comes up. Let yourself dabble, let yourself explore, let yourself get creative and curious about who you are now. And partially that's to do with the fact that all the energy right now, all the planets are direct. There's a really strong current of energy moving forward. At this point, we've adjusted somewhat to our Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius energy. The energy's also kind of equalized a little bit with planets moving into other signs, so we're not just working with Aquarian energy. And there is just this sense of play. Not for everybody, but for you. And this is also a month with the equinox on the 20th that heralds in Aries season. And with that comes a time to calibrate, a time to understand how we've grown, a time to get curious about who we are becoming in this next season of life. And the shift through Pisces into Aries season in March, to me, is always a transformational one because it's a shift through the death and rebirth process. In the Western astrological calendar, this is often recognized as the new year when we hit this equinox, because in the Northern Hemisphere, obviously spring heralded the return of the sun, the return of life coming up from the bones of the earth. So it's a really powerful symbolic time. And even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere where you're starting to go into the fall, this is also a time of rebirth and understanding how you've changed. So no matter where you are, this is powerful. Now for you all, we have some really great energies. We have Mars moving into Gemini in your opposing sign. This is really powerful for relationships. A lot can happen very quickly with Mars and Gemini, I would say. It's a very swift energy. We're also working through the first 3 weeks of the month, Pisces season, which is an interesting one for you all. I think Pisces season can be quite advantageous for Sages. It's a great time to dream. It's a great time to explore your dreams and visions and to nourish stuff from the inside out. It's very hidden energy. And then Aries season, of course, just lights up the heart for Saggies. So this is 5th house energy. This is all about that playful, creative, juicy, good, fun side of life. And I think after this last year, most people are feeling a little tentative to get fully back into play mode. You may tap into it for an afternoon or in certain moments, but then feel a little trepidatious to Page of Pentacles, to fully open back to a sense of lightness and playfulness that maybe you haven't had since 2019 when Jupiter was in Sagittarius. Wow, that was a powerful year. Lots of things changed for me then. Temperance, hey, I love it. I think this is the perfect month to play with getting back. Death. All right, we're going all in here, baby. To play and explore and have fun and see King of Pentacles. Ooh, I like that. I like some groundedness for Saggies. That's very healthy. We gotta give those centaurs like a nice safe space they can come back to and reset in order to be the most creative, fun, expansive, playful energy, right? This is a perfect time to explore who you are. I think when you let yourself play and just see what intuitively comes to you in each day, you do end up landing on something that really speaks to you, right? You do end up, the task, the idea, the concept that kind of pulls you in, you end up starting it, and then 3 hours later you're still doing it. So I think this is a great time to do that. Now when I'm looking at your cards, they're really supportive. There's a lot of you know what I'm noticing? You got Page of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. These energies right here offer up practical support. So while I've been talking about how this is a very dreamy, playful, ooey gooey, juicy month for Sages, where you can just play with your creative vision, play with your ideas, have fun, relax a little bit, and not necessarily like relax like go on vacation, but relax into who you are. There's also something going on here that I like that I'm seeing, which is that there is this foundation being laid. So where you may have felt like you've been floating, maybe there hasn't been a consistent root system, maybe there hasn't been the answers or the like solid vision that you've been kind of craving. For me, what I'm seeing in March, one of the outpourings of letting yourself get curious and creative is that there's a foundation getting built. There are inputs coming in that are helping you and supporting you and giving you the infusions of energy you need. So that's really, really exciting. And I think does allow you to be a little bit more fun and playful and creative. Let's be real, you know, having a strong foundation under you and having physical support and being a human person in a body, it really helps if you have the resources to allow you to do that, right? So this is awesome. I love that. Now we are going through, in the midst of all of that, we are going through something really big and spiritual here, right? Temperance and Death are very powerful cards. They're alchemical. They are about the transition, the transformation between one state of being and another. They're about a change in identity, and each in a very different way, right? But what I am seeing here is that you have changed. Who you thought you were going to be, right? Even 3 months ago, maybe is different. You may be discovering aspects of yourself that you didn't even realize were coming up, things that are changing in your life, things that are morphing in your life that you didn't even realize were something you were going to be exploring in the coming months. Who are you now? Get acquainted. Get acquainted with who you are now. Now, Temperance is obviously the Sagittarius card, right? So it's speaking to your innate way of doing things. And I realize we still have the south node of the moon in your sign, which often means that we're learning how to balance out and not maybe emphasize Sag energy so much, which Sag energy is like for the collective is about the bigger picture and the philosophical way of looking at things and zooming out and just being able to understand things on a much bigger lens, and also for those big plans, those big visions in life. And there has been more emphasis on that Gemini North Node, which is about the details and being present in the moment and finding all the richness in the little connections you have all around you in this crackling moment. However, you know, Temperance is speaking here to coming back to some of your innate way of creating magic, which does have to do with tapping into the bigger picture, which does have to do with creating magic, does have to do with taking disparate elements and creating something new from them. And to me, Temperance is a very creative card. It's a very fertile card. It is a card that is deeply associated with mixing different elements together, right? And finding balance. And yes, I will say this, when Temperance shows up, it means there is a quest here to find a new center point, a new balancing point. It is not about rushing to extremes. It's about tempering the fire, right? So that it doesn't burn you to ash. So we don't want you pushing too hard. But Temperance is a very creative energy. Now, with that creative energy is coming a change in identity, a change in who you see yourself as in this world. I love that. Feels appropriate. And once again, I find that Pisces into Aries season is a season of death and rebirth. The tradition of Easter is associated, you can look at, the way that different cultures have collided over the centuries, right? But regardless, each of these types of celebrations that happen around the Easter time are about death and resurrection. They're about the return of life, right? And the return of life in a new form, in an evolved form, in a form that understands and sees in new ways. And so for me, this month is powerful for you guys. The world is changing for you, and the big vision is probably going to bring some new excitement to your life and some new intensity to your life, which I think you're ready for. Honestly, I think you're ready for this energy to start working with you and playing with you. So it's very exciting. It's also very intense, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. And actually, King of Pentacles speaks a little bit to this. King of Pentacles is long-term investor. That's what he likes to do. He's not worried about quick results. He's focused on understanding that the seeds he is planting now, they're going to yield to him very big rewards in the long scheme of things, right? He's going to see these beautiful things come to fruition. And he's going to see those things come to fruition by having a stable base under him. And by knowing that some seeds are going to be planted and it's going to take a little while. But that doesn't mean that it's not coming into your field of vision soon. It just may take a little bit of time. So also remember, as you're kind of playing, exploring, accessing these new versions of yourself, accessing who you are now, who you're becoming, this big vision that I think King of Pentacles is kind of nodding to. He's like, oh yeah, you're planting seeds right now that are going to show you this whole other world. It's pretty big energy. That you're also just relaxing into this moment. And not getting too worried about the future either. That will show itself in time, in good time. Let's pull a final card from my Cosmic Tarot. This deck is unique. It is very vivid imagery. Oh, the moon wanted to come out. Gorgeous. I love this card. Really beautiful. The moon. The moon is all about intuition. And actually, Pisces season for Sagittarius is a lot about trusting your inner vision. Fourth house for you, moon-ruled house. It's very much about listening to your intuitive guidance from deep within. Don't get distracted by the technicalities of the moment, right? Maybe you're playing, experimenting, and then you're feeling stalled by a practical thing. Though you do have practical support here this month, and I do think new roots are getting set up and to thrive and grow this month. I absolutely do. Don't get caught up and tangled in the weeds of thoughts about things that aren't progressing quickly or aren't working. Those are all temporary things that are coming and going. The moon is going to want you to tap into a deeper knowing regularly this month, which is also where that creative playfulness comes from. The more you trust that inner knowing, the more you experiment with following those really natural impulses inside of yourself that are helping you explore, the more easily this month is just going to come to you. So like I said, don't get caught up in the weeds of pushing yourself externally from the outside in. You're going to want to work from the inside out always. And that is how you're going to access all the supportive energy. So keep that in mind. It's a very simple message, but I think it's one that bears repeating. I feel like I should record myself and just make myself listen to this message because, I think we often need a reminder every day, honestly, that we're allowed to listen to our intuitive call. And the intuitive rhythms of our work and our energy and our desire and where we have the energy to give or to receive. It's important to listen to this voice underneath the bramble of things happening externally to us. And like I said, this month has a lot of swift energy, which means that things can keep moving very quickly. And where you may think the story is this story one day, it may be a different story the next day. As the world kind of comes back into some movement, slowly but surely, a lot of things are moving around, and there's a lot of new energy coming in and different ways of doing things. It's a lot of information to process, so you just want to come back to that internal space. Now, like I said, for you, I don't think this is actually a volatile month. I think it's a transformational month, but I think the road is clear. And I think there is like a solidness about what's coming next that you're going to be noticing. But with that also comes trusting yourself as you change, trusting that you're doing enough, and trusting that it's okay that these transformations are coming. And also just having fun and playing and creating, because really that's what it comes down to, right? Are we having fun? Are we playing? Are we creating? Are we connecting? Are we exploring? Are we getting curious? That's what every day is really about. Even if we're just sitting on our couch dreaming and exploring from within, that's big. So with that being said, I want to wish my Sagittarius family such a beautiful March, full of exploration and joy and creative breakthroughs and support. I want to wish you all like just breaking and cracking into your new self, like so excited and realizing that you get to be this person, you get to be who you are, you get to be the being that you are in this world, and just realizing how fantastic that is and how much you have to bring to the world, and to just feel energized and excited and curious and full of that Saggy light that just is so powerful in this world. That is what I wish for you. I wish also for that stability and for that consistency, and for you to feel that you have the root system and the support to shine your light as bright as possible, and that you feel that you're not just floating in outer space, but that you are also tethered to something that makes you feel safe and consistent. And I hope you get infused with all the ingredients on this physical plane to help you feel that. As a reflection of your brightness. I wish all of that for you. I really, really do this month. We are going to be doing so much extra support work in March on my Patreon. It's really a beautiful space. I love having you here. I would love for you to stick around, hit subscribe and like if you are enjoying this work that I put out. But I'd also love to see you over on Patreon if it's calling to you, right? If it's feeling right. You can also find me on my website and on my Instagram. So I will leave all of those links below, as well as PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She's always got something new up her sleeve, so I'll leave her link below as well. I'm sending you all so much love. Take very good care of yourselves, and I will talk to you very soon.